Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Voice of the Teacher. My name is Jacob Montag, and I'm coming in to the final episode of this season of my life. So, what does that mean exactly? I'm working on my final master's assignment right now. It's all done. I graduate next Saturday, and I'm pretty excited, and I've done pretty well for myself too. And so I've done a lot of reflection pieces recently. And I've talked about the what of what it is I'm doing. And we're going to talk about some of that today, but I also want to talk about the why behind it. So if you'll join me and walk with me on my personal journey, not just my academic journey, but my personal journey of how I got here. And so what I want to talk about first is where I started at in this program. So when I started this program in January of 2022, I was on year 7, now currently in year 8 of my career. I taught a wide range of humanities, and that covers everything from English to social studies. It did not take very long in my career to become upset with the way the modern education system was working, because frankly, I don't think it is. I did not know what I needed to do to change, but I also didn't realize that I was part of the problem. And so you go through a lot of low points. There's a lot of low points getting to this part. One of which was going through a number of really, really badly run schools. I'm talking not just bad as in I didn't like the color of the walls or the school mascot. I'm talking bad as in failing grades constantly. Violence in the schools. I'm talking about kids that would drop out because they had a better option than going to school and getting a high school diploma. I'm talking about kids that some even died. The lowest point was when I had to bury a student. And I'd usually been able to catch them, but the student was so overwhelmed, from what I was told, the student was so overwhelmed with just the quantity of work that they saw as meaningless. And combine that with several other factors, they decided that suicide was their option. And that was probably the lowest point. Not to mention one of the instructional leaders of the campus actually, and I quote, said, well, there was other things and it was really just that student's fault anyway. To which I was like, okay, I'm done. Bye. I'm not dealing with you no more. And so it really is quite revelatory as to the attitude of some instructional leaders. Just a one-size-fits-all program. Don't really push students to their potential. Just, okay, we've met the state requirements. God bless you. Hope you have a good life. Get them graduated. And so that was a lot. There was a lot of low points like that for myself. And then I started the program, and I realized that the one-size-fits-all mindset of the public education system was being juxtaposed against my classical-only mindset. And if you have a chance to go to a classical school, do it. Very good with critical thinking. Top notch. Won't find anything better. But my mindset had to change because my mindset was fixed. One of the earliest high points came was when I started reading Carol Dweck's book about growth mindset and realizing that my mindset was fixed. I didn't want to take criticism. I didn't want to take feedback. I didn't want to take consideration of there might be some things about myself I have to change. And I can still be kind of like that some days. Just ask my wife. She'll happily tell you. So working to transform myself from a fixed to a growth mindset, that was a big challenge. And the greatest lesson I learned was the power of yet. Like most Americans, have been taught to affix my growth academically and personally to a numeric score that we get on a standardized test. And that's not true. The power of yet says, I'm not there yet. I will get there though, but I haven't arrived yet. Whereas a numeric score says, this is your skill set. This is the only thing you'll ever be skilled at. Don't try to make yourself do any better. And so how do you cultivate a yet mindset? In education, you have to do that by embracing something called the kova frameworks. Kova stands for choice, ownership, voice, and authenticity. And that usually goes hand in hand, fits together real nicely with learning by doing. And so when I began to have these high points and these great lessons, I began to realize I was making the progress that I had wanted. And so what did I create? I actually got a chance to design a constructivist course, which the curriculum is project-based. The kids research a topic that is aligned to district expectations and the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills, TEKS, for all my educators that are watching. And they make deliverables. They make a movie, a book, a game, or something like that. Something that they themselves are passionate about. And then they present it on something called an Eportfolio. The Eportfolio is how we assess it. It collects the deliverables and from the projects, and it puts them in, over time, a pattern of growth and comprehension. Where were they in 9th grade versus where they're at in 12th grade? That is what we're looking for. We're looking for comprehension. We're looking for growth. We have a set of criteria for success we measure it against, and we look to see the improving quality of the deliverables. And it's a big shift because numeric scores typically are what they're used to, but causing people to think about where they're at and where they need to go, that's a little bit different. And so some of the feedback I got was after 3 soft launches, there was a general consensus that it was on the right track. Progress-based, project-based, giving kids choice over their projects, giving kids ownership over their projects. That was good stuff. However, I didn't always have the best structure to it because I needed stronger rubrics. And typically, and I did not realize I had this misconception, kova typically is associated with poor classroom management or do whatever you want. That's not the case. Kova does not mean directionless. There should be a structure, just not to the point where it takes away the student's voice and all that. And so 75 to 80% found the course that I had designed very good. You know what? For my first go around really designing a project-based course, I'll take what used to be considered a B+ with that feedback, because I will get to that A+ that I just love so much yet. I've yet to get there, but I'll get there yet. And so now that I've gone through the whole process and I've planned, I've strategized, I've collaborated, what's next for me? Well, I'm currently working in an online school. Stride K-12 is the company I work for. Texas Virtual Academy in Hallsville. That's the school I'm currently at. Teaching government. I've got leaders at that school that are interested in what I have to offer as far as the curriculum goes. It's a much more hospitable environment. So I'm going to continue working to help improve institutions like that. Because in the wake of COVID, in the wake of all these school shootings, you're going to see a rise in online education again. You're going to see a rise in alternatives to public schools again. And so let's see where this goes. I want to give young innovators a voice as well. I have somebody that I used to work with years ago decided that they were going to get a technology degree for education. They're working to help train people as well. And, I remember that person really having a distaste for educational technology back in the day. So if that individual can grow past that, anybody can. So let's give people a platform to share their growth. That's what the voice of the teacher, I really want it to be about. And in addition to change. But I couldn't have done all this. And as we come to a close here, I could not have done everything that I've done this year without a few key people in my corner. And first, I want to start by thanking my learning community, Dr. Dwayne Harapnik. He has just been a phenomenal master's degree professor and mentor. Was always there for the students when they needed him. Ben Branco, LaDonna Green, Fred Williams, Tristan Dixon. You've all been the best study group anybody could have ever wanted. And it all started with just us in the chat on a Zoom call being like, hey, you want to join this group meeting? We can all ask each other questions. I'm very grateful for y'all's friendship, and I hope we all get to collaborate on something else one day. To my colleagues who helped, Principal Joseph Murguia over at Memorial Early College High School in New Braunfels, Texas, Jeffrey Trott, the Social Studies Department Head, Ashley Kipe, the instructional coach, Brittany Finrich, all of you who gave me an opportunity to learn project-based learning. I'm very grateful for you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Mr. Murguia, for encouraging me to find that that next evolution of myself and gave me the courage to really chase the dream that I had had for so many years. And I'm very grateful for you and Miss Kipe and the Mex family for doing all that. So still consider myself an eagle from a distance. I just left the nest. To my current roster of coworkers, Caitlin Picasso, thank you so much for always listening to my podcasts and always being there whenever I had a question about the learning system. And you've just been a tremendous content captain. I'm very grateful for you. Marie Lockoff, thank you for your friendship as well. I look forward to having a successful assessment season. Magda, thank you for encouraging me always to not be comfortable with what was always done, for always encouraging me to have that growth mindset. You've been a phenomenal friend to have. And to my current boss, Christy Brewer, thank you for taking a chance on me, this wacky guy with lights and a microphone. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to teach government after pining to teach that subject for 8 years. And I look forward to continue working with you in whatever role that we have in the future. And I would be terribly remiss if I did not give a thank you to my family who made this possible. To my wife, you've loved me when I've been very difficult to deal with. You've put up with my horrible dad jokes, and I love you so much. Thank you, Victoria, for your support over the past year. To my parents who never said no to any of my crazy ideas, thank you for believing in me and always pushing me to do the best that I possibly can do. And to my in-laws who threatened to put a size 11.5 boot up my backside if I even thought about quitting, thank you so much. Sometimes that's what it took to keep me going on those late nights when I would be making these videos. So why did I do this? Because it's not just the people in my school. It was also the people that I do life with at my jobs. It's also the family that knows me and loves me the most. You know, really, that's who made this journey possible. That's who gives me some of my best ideas. And so that's why I took time to say thank you to all them. A couple final thoughts in closing. Whenever I had finished my bachelor's degree, I had a great undergraduate career at the Victoria College and the University of Houston. I'd had success that very few people that age had, and whenever it was over, it just kind of went down. And so when I think about all that I've overcome the past few years, health issues, mental health issues, some bad stuff happened. Now that I'm past all that, I can look back and start seeing all the good stuff and how even some of the bad stuff, if it wasn't for the low points, there would be no high points. And so one writer put it like this: come further in and come on higher up. And I think that's where we go from here. So the graduate season is over with. I may go for a doctorate one day. Who knows? But until that opportunity opens up, I just want to encourage somebody. Be a culture builder. Never stop asking yourself the question, what if? And always pursue the dream that's within your heart as soon as you are able to do it. Because you'll never find true success just settling for something less. Well, what if it fails? What if it doesn't? And so I look forward to continuing this podcast and covering a lot of different topics. Thank you to everybody who's watched so far. And stay tuned and see what's coming up next.